I like the fact that, in this series, that it's more him who's being shy than her. Normally in the K dramas, they make they make it like the guy kissed the girl first, you know, and the girl's acting all shy. But here he is like, oh my gosh, he's like gonna go crazy with this girl, and she's like whispering in his ears, like, do you want to do you want to sign? Do you want to? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden.
But so far, I'm still a little confused about what her story is, because in the beginning of episode 7, with the young girl, his very first ghost, I think he said like, "Are you living?" Right? So that means, yeah, they did meet each other a long time ago, right? And then you see, like, in her hand, she had the seal, she had the whatever imprint on her hand, while he had it on his back. So I guess they're going to develop the story even more down the road. And then when it comes to her friend, the office that she's working at, her boss is a real douche. He's having her do the homework for his son, and he had the other ghost do the same thing for his daughter 3 years ago. And like, I really want the other ghost to like get back at him as a ghost. He got back at him a little bit as he possessed the cleaning lady, but I'm like, don't do that, because now you're gonna get the cleaning lady in trouble, and she didn't even like do anything. She's not even gonna remember what happened, right? So it's like he needs to get back at him as a ghost, and he shouldn't, torture the girl as much, right? So I'm like, well, hopefully we start seeing what he's going to do, because I feel like the whole reason that he's still here is his unfinished business, whether it might be the girl, or if he's trying to change how the office goes, because the guy's not gonna change. He's always gonna be having the intern do um do work that they're not supposed to do. And that girl, she really needs to watch out, because again, a year ago, she was diagnosed with some kind of disease, right? Or some kind of thing that was like, oh, you only have 1 year to live. So unless she gets a second opinion, just like she said, I don't trust that doctor, you know? So she needs to keep a low profile and not overwork herself, especially since the night before her nose was bleeding. The case that they are working on in episode 7, and it continued until the beginning of episode 8. It was about, this woman who kept calling um, this counseling center because she was feeling suicidal. And she called it one night, and she was about to jump off the bridge, and then this guy comes and like helps her. And then and then she find out that it's the guy that she was just talking to at the counseling center. So she was feeling a little, oh my gosh, I can't believe you came all the way over here. And then she had already crossed over the bridge, and was ready to jump. So he crossed over too, and he helped her get back. And then for some reason, she probably like noticed something, and she pushed him off the bridge. So he died, and he came into the studio. And now all this was on the news, and they were like, oh, she killed the guy who rescued her, right? And like I'm thinking that too. I'm like, why did you just push him over the edge? He just tried to help you. And when they were watching that, Kiju was like, well, maybe one of them was possessed because the same guy who pretty much caused the accident the episode before, episode 6, the Grim Reaper, I guess he is. He's going around, he's still in the area and he's going around killing a bunch of cats, right? Which is, oh my gosh, so sad, right? So they investigate, they try to find the girl because she's on the run. The police are investigating what's going on. But for some reason, the guy, he comes into the studio, right? He was like, um, he was like drenched in water, which is understandable because he drowned, right? But there was a moment when he was in the studio with them and he turned back into blue, which you've never really seen other people do that before, right? So Kiju's like, okay, he needs to investigate this some more. So he finally finds the girl. And before, he kind of explains it, he brings Kiju to the studio. He brings the guy to the studio. And originally, the guy was telling the story, and here's how it happened. The girl used to call the counseling center, and he really helped her get through to her, and then she got a boyfriend, so she stopped calling the counseling center. And then um I didn't say how long the time frame was, but she started calling the counseling center again to talk to him when her boyfriend dumped her, and her boyfriend told her, "Oh, you could just die," right? So she started calling the counseling center again. So Kiju brings him to the studio and told him like, seems to be something wrong, right? Because I noticed that when I saw your shoes, the same shoes that you're wearing, I saw them at the girl's house. So when he took one photo of him, the guy just like disappeared and he turned into like this bad ghost. So he starts fighting with Detective Beck, and before that he was like strangling Kiju. And it's important to also note that when they thought he was friendly, the what's his name, the other guy, the other ghost, he taught him how to possess people, right? So he runs away, and he knows that Kiju is attracted to the other doctor, right? Well, I guess in that sense, it wasn't why he possessed her. He went to go see her because he thought she had knowledge of where the girl was. But Bohm never picked up her phone as Kiju was trying to get a hold of her. So it wasn't until she went with her other lawyer friend, and she was talking about the guy because she had asked her lawyer friend to take some of his cases. And the girl was like, how well do you know this guy? Because he used to be a stalker. I talked to everyone on the list that you gave me, and no one had anything nice to say about him. And the guy was right there, right? So she was like, excuse me. And he was even arrested, right? So the guy's listening to all of this. So then he turns into the evil self, and then he possessed her. And then he brought her all the way at the top of the bridge. So like they do their little conversation. Kiju like runs over there to try and save her. And they do this back and forth. And then, Detective Beck came and then they started fighting. And the way they got rid of him is if a ghost dies the same way that his human self died, then he pretty much evaporates. So that was the case there. So this one, they didn't really get a chance to snap the picture again, and it wasn't really a happy story. So that continued into episode 8. So now, he is being by her side. He's following her everywhere, pretty much keeping up the safe space so that she doesn't get hurt again because, she was just possessed by an evil spirit. And he told her, like, since she was possessed, other ghosts are going to try to come near her. But now they still have to worry about the Grim Reaper who is, still here. And what exactly is the Grim Reaper after, you know? So it seems as if that guy didn't die. Because he came out of the water, a little later. Since the 3 days were up, Kiju fell sick and Boom pretty much took care of him. But yeah, the guy came out of the water and people could see him. Two guys were fishing that night and they could see him. So I'm like, did he find his body down there and like what possess his body? Like, because how could they see him? So then as soon as he got out though, the Grim Reaper, quote, the Grim Reaper, um pretty much killed him and took over uh his powers, right? Or should I say his energy. And then what else happened in this episode? So we got um it was still a continuation of the case. So Bohm was working with the girl who tried to jump off the bridge and working with another one of the callers at the counseling center just to pretty much close the case because everyone still thinks like he is this wonderful guy that died, but they were trying to like pin pretty much arrest her for killing him. But Bohm had to prove that he was indeed a stalker in order for her to go free. And when both of them were getting out of the police station, they were like, the reporters were outside and they were asking her question, and she mentioned the prosecutor's office and the police station, how they're not very good at their job, and that you know they they pretty much let the stalker go because the whole reason it came to this point is because she filed a bunch of reports, but they didn't believe her and they didn't pursue it further, right? Um, so the prosecutor's office was pissed off, especially, since her old boss is the prosecutor, um, and he already doesn't like her. And while they were having their meeting, they mentioned somebody, but I'm guessing it's the case from 3 years ago. So it's probably gonna come back around because the public are already having doubts about the prosecutor's office and the police department. And speaking of the police department, they finally caught the guy that killed Detective Beck. So the guy that he's been trying to catch this whole time, they finally caught him. And then But my thing with this is like, why does it take that long to catch him? This man's been running away from them for the longest time, you know? And I'm like, how could you miss him all this time? You guys have to know your neighborhood. All these cops running after him, but nobody tries to like cut him off. And you guys have to know the neighborhood. This man can't keep getting away from you guys all this time, right? So they finally caught him because he went into a building and he went all the way up to the roof. And Detective Beck was waiting, and he pretty much dropped a bunch of stuff on him to try and stop him. But the news went out to everyone, so everyone heard about it. Everyone was cheering that they finally caught this guy, right? And they were even putting in the news that he killed Detective Beck the day of his anniversary. And then they show you the wife, that she's finally packing up her husband's stuff. And then in the meantime, Detective Beck was telling the other ghost to possess someone and go deliver flowers to his wife. Then that same day, while he's in the house with her and she's packing all of the stuff, we're thinking that the flowers is being delivered by the person that um maybe the other ghost possessed, or someone from the flower shop. But no, before that though, she pulled out a piece of paper, and it was actually divorce papers. So before he died, she was planning on divorcing him, and he didn't know that. He was thinking that they were in a happy relationship, but they weren't. So when both of them go to the door, there's this guy there with flowers saying, "Oh, how I miss you so much," and gave her like this big hug. And I'm like, it's the audacity. This whole time she was mourning her husband, you didn't even like go come see her. But the day that they catch her husband's killer, that's when you come back and you're like, I miss you. Like, dude, like, at least have some decorum. Like, why would you do that? Like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you had all this time for you to come back and be like, "Oh, I missed you." But the day it's all over the news that her husband's killer was caught, that's when you coming over here saying, um, "I missed you." But it's also like, that part is bad, but it's also the fact that she was actually cheating on him while he was out, working and stuff like that. If you had a problem, you could have just said that. You didn't have to like cheat on the man while he's out working and providing for you. I don't know. That's just weird. So now he pretty much found out about that. So we're going to have to see how he is going to handle this whole situation, because I also want to know like where he got his powers from, because and how does one ghost get to possess, and but then the other ghost has like these powers, right? um and then pretty much at the end of episode 8, they Kiju and Bohm shared another kiss, and so I'm assuming that they're going to start dating now. Who knows? So pretty much this is now the end of the first half of the series. And so far, like, it's not one of those series, like, it's pretty much like, okay, where is this going? Right? Um, Obviously, the two ghosts are going to need to move on at some point. And then it's like, what is the Grim Reaper's deal? What is he trying to achieve here? And you know, how many days are left before Kiju turns 35? And is he going to share the same fate as the other people in his family? And the other question is his uncle indeed missing? Or is he still alive? Or is he dead? Right? So these are the questions we are asking ourselves for the second half of the show.
And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.